everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. We are in the third week of BRICKTOBER, and to celebrate the spooky season, we are taking a look at the Lord of Destruction himself, the Demon Skeletor. Because yes, this version of Skeletor is 100% a demon. This is the Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, New Eternia, Bone Throne Skeletor. This is one that I have been waiting for. I've had this for a while. I've been waiting to open it. I've been very, very excited to open it, mainly because of the design of the character, the look of the character. When we get him open and we take a look at the skull, I'll explain a little bit better of what I'm talking about. But this is, I just feel like this is going to be such an awesome piece to take a look at. The packaging alone is a work of art. That we have this fantastic image of Skeletor right here on his throne with the Havoc staff, the Staff of Ka in the background. This looks fantastic. And it's a bit of a wraparound image because you can see that it carries over to this side where we have Panther, Evil Lyn, and Zor right here. No, not Zor, this is Screech. I'm sorry, Panther, Evil Lyn, and Screech. We have seen a New Eternia Panther. We have New Eternia Evil Lyn up for pre-order. We're just waiting for Screech right here. And then if we flip around to the other side, we have more of Skeletor's minions, his two favorite boys. We got Beastman and we got Merman. I don't have that New Eternia Merman yet, but I will because he just looks awesome. The new Eternia Beastman that is coming up looks pretty freaking good too. These two I will probably be getting as well. On the back, we have a lot of purple with that snake, and the snake continues up top right here. And this is very much looking like the snake of Snake Mountain. And what we have on the back is a little bit of a write-up of our boy. From deep within Snake Mountain, Skeletor rules from the Bone Throne, an ancient artifact crafted by the original inhabitants of Snake Mountain from the poisoned bones of wyverns. The Bone Throne now serves as a conduit for Skeletor's Havoc magic to seek out and capture the power of Grayskull. This is going to be excellent. In lieu of getting a Masterverse-sized Snake Mountain, never say never, who knows if that would happen, we at least have the throne from which Skeletor rules. So let's not waste any more time. Let's just get this open and let's take a look at Mattel Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, New Eternia, Bone Throne Skeletor. Okay, so upon opening the main box, there are two other boxes inside for packaging that we have Skeletor in his box, in his New Eternia packaging right here. Looking very cool. I dig this because if you are an inbox collector and you want to display him, you can take him out of this and you can put him on the shelf like that. He has his window packaging, so that's very cool. And then right here, we have the box that the throne is in. And if I'm not mistaken, from other videos I've seen, I believe that once we open up the throne and we put it together, that the box actually becomes like the display stand for the piece. So we'll be taking a look at that in a moment once we get Skeletor out. But let's take a look at the packaging for Skeletor now as well, because what we have is the standard fare for the New Eternia. That we have a small window box right here, but we have a great piece of artwork right here depicting the Lord of Destruction with his Havoc staff. The green magic effects, the gnarled hand. You can see the shadow beasts. You can see the denizens of Snake Mountain right here. This is very cool. So on the back, we have that same image that we had on the main box, so that if you do want to display this, you still have this image to take a look at. Over here, Skeletor without his hood, the Staff of Ka. In the mini comics, I think I've only ever seen him without his hood on once. So now, let's get this open. We'll take a look at the packaging for the throne once we're done with Skeletor. But now, let's get this open, and let's take a look at, once again, Mattel Masterverse, Masters of the Universe, New Eternia Skeletor. And now here he is, Skeletor, out of his packaging, and putting the tape measure to him, we can see that he is approximately 7¼ inches tall to the top of his head. Now, before we take a close-up look at him, I do want to do one thing. This is the original New Eternia Skeletor. I believe this was called Pirate Skeletor because of the extra accessories that came with him. Was it was it Viking Skeletor? I think it was Viking Skeletor. I can't remember what the other title was, but you can see here that this new Eternia Skeletor is basically complete reuse, with the exception of the head sculpt, as the original new Eternia Skeletor, with the clawed feet, the shin guards, the skirting, the tunic here, even the armor. It's just that this one has, in my opinion, a superior paint job along with the superior face sculpt. I like the new Eternia Skeletor, especially once you put the other add-ons on him, but his head was always just too small for me. Like, and I think that was something that Masterverse really had an issue with when they first came out, was that like the heads were just too small. The head sculpts were just too small. They weren't scaled correctly. They weren't proportioned correctly. This is a much better looking. This is much better looking proportion wise for the head than this one is. But yeah, you can even see in the hands, the skirting, the belt right here. These are identical figures. Now, bringing him up closer, I really think this is a superior head sculpt. This is probably the best head sculpt that we've had so far for Skeletor. That this is 100% that Alcala looking face sculpt right here from like the early days of the mini comics, those first 4 mini comics that for me anyway really set the tone of what Masters of the Universe was going to be, and honestly what I would have liked to have seen it become. More of a sword and sorcery with lost technology rather than a pretty much sci-fi environment. I really liked the idea that this was a demon from a hellish dimension and he was stuck on Eternia, and he wanted the power of Grayskull to open a portal to his home dimension to not necessarily return home, but bring his kind to Eternia for conquest. I loved that plot line, and I love this face sculpt. And check this out. The jaw is hinged. The jaw is articulated. Look at the teeth. Look at the teeth. You have just that black void on the inside. You have those 2 pinpoints of red in there for his eyes. The only issue I have with this, quite honestly, and it's an issue that I have with a lot of Skeletors, this hood is way too small. It doesn't come down to connect correctly with the armor. You still have a little bit of that gapping, although I guess it does work better than most others if you set it right. But I still feel like that this is way too small, hugging his head. I would have liked to have seen something that had a little bit more, just a little bit more volume to it, especially on the sides and on the bottom right here where it connected. Now moving down the figure, we have almost a metallic purple. Actually, not almost, it is a metallic purple for the majority of his armor and his skirting and his shin guards right here. That gives it just this like really bright standout quality, along with the metallic gold for the crossed bones, the metallic gold that's so bright it's reflecting my lights right here along the belt of his skirting, and of course the metallic gold for these bat symbols right here on his shin guards. And you even can see like a bit of that bat symbol right here, shades of the Horde coming through on his armor. I really like that. You can also see a really, really good paint job on the torso, where it's not just that the torso was molded in this bluish gray coloring. You can see like there's blue and purple highlights in the musculature of Skeletor right here to really make things stand out, to give him some shading, to give him some depth, so that he's not just this one-dimensional creature. He's not this one-dimensional figure. He does not come with a sword, but he has a hook, a loop back here for sheathing a sword. There is a power sword on the way, and I really hope that it's going to fit with this figure, the coloring anyway. The metallic purple coloring, I really hope it's going to work out with this one, because I really feel like this is going to be my main Skeletor. This looks fantastic. Now let's check out the articulation. That his head will do a full 360 spin. It floats a little bit inside the hood, so you have to watch that. He can look up, see that how the hood sort of pulls back? He can look up okay, he can look down okay. There's a little bit of tilt side to side. His arms will do a full 360 spin. You have to get the tassels of his armor up out of the way. There's no butterfly joint. The arms will come up to 90. There is a bicep swivel, double jointed, whoop, it's sticking a little, double jointed elbows with some decent travel, especially considering he has these demon arms right here with these fins coming out. Wrists swivel, wrists hinge in and out. All of his hands are going to hinge in and out, even what are his sort of weapon wielding hands. I wish this one hinged up and down, I really do. So he has, let's get your arms up out of the way. He has this ab cut right here that you can get some twist out of it, but he can really crank back. He can crank forward a little bit, and there's a little bit of side to side going on. But where you get the full 360 is the joint at his waist. His legs will come forward just below 90. Once again, you can see that real nice purplish blue coloring right there, like really adding to like the muscle design of his legs. His leg will go back, will come out to the side, almost a 90. Oh, he has a thigh cut, double jointed knees with some really good travel for as chunky as they are. Boot cut right above the shin guard. Ankle rocks back, all right. Ankle rocks forward, not a whole lot, but he does have a forward-facing pin for some rocker. Actually, no, he doesn't. It doesn't rock. I'm sorry. It just pivots right there. Like, I feel like the pin is coming forward and it's spinning, but it's not as forward that it would rock back and forth, that it's more of a spin right there. So you don't really get that side twist to the foot that you would need for like outstretched leg poses. One thing I wanted to draw attention to is you may notice that like I have the head sort of kicked forward a little bit, and that's because, let's pop his head off here. This joint on mine is so loose. See how that is? It's so loose. It doesn't really have any stay on its own, that even when you put it back here where it should, whenever you put it back here where it should be, as soon as you pop a head on, it really, now it's going to make a liar out of me. It shifts forward on its own a little bit. So that's kind of why I had it shifted forward and him looking up a little bit just to get him to be looking straight ahead. That's why he has this little bit of chin jutting forward. But I have to admit, doing it like that does make the hood meet up with the armor better to give it more of a seal kind of look right there, like it's all one piece. Now, talking about the hood, let's check this out while we have the head off, that you can pop that head off, but you can also roll it out of the hood and then put it back on. And there you have a bare-skulled Skeletor, which once again, I think is something that we haven't had yet. So look at the paint apps on the skull. Look at that gradual fade from the yellow up to like this ochre green right here. The shadowing in the eyes that leads to these dark black pits. And then those two little points of red inside just peering out at you. I think that looks fantastic. I think they really knocked it out of the park with the head sculpt on this Skeletor. This head sculpt alone is one of the reasons why this is going to be my primary Skeletor for the shelf. So out of the packaging, Skeletor comes with a pair of gripping hands, even this one right here with the finger extended. You could use that as a pointing hand, but he also does have curled fingers that he can still grip with this hand if you would want him to. He also comes with his Beastman slapping hand and a clenched fist over here. Now, taking a look at his accessories, Skeletor does, of course, come with the Havoc Staff, and the Havoc Staff is molded in this metallic purple-looking plastic as well, and I think this looks great. I don't think the Havoc Staff has looked better so far. I really like this this reflective purple that they've molded it in. The only thing I wish that they might have done differently was actually put some paint apps on here, like on the eyes, to sort of just make them like black sunken eyes right there. The Havoc staff is, of course, the same mold as this Havoc staff. This is the one from the new Eternia Skeletor. I don't have many Skeletors. As a matter of fact, I think this is my third one right here. So I don't know if this is the Havoc staff that they've used for other Masterverse Skeletors, but it is the one that has been used for both new Eternia versions. And it's a very chunky, heavy staff. There's some weight to this. There's some meat to this one. I really like this. I liked this one the first time around. I love it this time. And we can put this in his hand. He has his gripping hand right here. That I'm curious, because on the first new Eternia Skeletor, the wrist joint wasn't strong enough to hold the Havoc staff because of how heavy it was. But now, oh look, in the other one that I had, it kind of like flipped upside down on its own. Even there, it's not going to do it. So that's really cool. I like that. Nice. It's holding up on its own, but we can also, let's see here. Can we angle it so if that wrist would hinge up, let me show you what's going on. The base of it isn't really hitting the ground to get it in a comfortable looking like holding stance. You have to bring it in tight. That if this wrist hinged up and down instead of in and out, you'd be able to like get a better stance out of him with it. But he has it. I like that. He holds it up. His wrist isn't twisting because of the weight, so there's always that. He just looks so cool. I really love this metallic purple that they're using for him. So the other piece that he has is this armor add-on, and I'm not going to keep pulling out the previous new Eternia Skeletor, but this is basically the same piece that we got with this one too. This just fits over the shoulders. The only difference is that this one has a lot more finish to it with the golden highlights on it as well. And I like that. I like the layered look that it gives it instead of just being like a solid piece of purple plastic. Once again, we have that metallic purple going on. We have a decently heavy black cloak for Skeletor, for our Lord of Destruction, but you can see that it's the same material that the other capes of the Masterverse figures are made in. It's fairly sheer, but we also have sort of like a tattered bottom to it, giving it like a look of age and worn and use. And really, this does just fit over top of Skeletor. And there we have him, right there. I dig this. I loved this piece on the first new Eternia Skeletor. And if you take a look, there are little clips underneath the shoulder pads right here that hook onto the tassels of the armor that he's already wearing. So that helps it hold position. And this just gives him such an imperious, regal, ruling look. And man, do I like that. I really like that. The only thing that could have made the cape better was, one, if it was a heavier material so that it wasn't quite so translucent, and two, if it had a wire in it, because this is the Skeletor that you want to be able to like get dramatic poses out of the cape. So I was trying to figure out what you could do with the other new Eternia Skeletor now that I have this one that's going to be the replacement. And it dawned on me that this one does come with this additional face sculpt right here that is kind of like the Demo Man face sculpt from the original sketches of what they were going to make into Skeletor. So you could conceivably just do a head swap, put this Demo Man head on with the helmet, give him the saber that he comes with, and you have a new Eternia Demo Man minion of Skeletor right here. Something else that I wanted to show you is, let's get him out of the path. Let's take that off, and let's pop this off again. That the Demo Man head does work on here as well. Once again, look at that. Wow, that small head sculpt just completely changes the look of the figure, the statue of it. But you can put that on there, because even though the majority of the helmet is the flat purple that they used for the first new Eternia Skeletor, for this version of the new Eternia Skeletor that this head came from, there is a little bit of reflective metallic purple right here in the headdress that kind of goes along with the rest of the purple of his armor. So this head sculpt on this body is not completely outside the realm of being able to use it like that. So now, just to be fair, let's put the Akala head on the original new Eternia Skeletor, and it's not entirely it's not entirely out of place either, because the bat symbol on his armor right there is a sort of metallic shiny purple against the matte of the armor, as well as a little bit of metallic going on right here on the crossbones. So the hood isn't completely out of place on here, and I think it looks good. I do. I think it looks good. I much prefer the Bone Throne body and the paint apps to this, but it's not outside the realm of possibility of doing a head swap on these two. Okay, let's see what we have going on with the Bone Throne here. That first of all, this boxing is really cool. This is a textured box. You can feel the ripples of the rocks and Skeletor's logo up front. This is very tactile packaging. I really like that. We have the skull up top, that I believe this is going to be the skull on top of the throne. And we have a face in the stonework on back, which is just gnarly. We have another face over here, which also is gnarly. Just these faces coming out of the stone. You can see more on this side, kind of a little bit more distorted, a little bit of green shining through for the eyes. On the bottom, just stone. All right, so let's open this up. Let's see how this looks on the inside. Okay, we have some packing material to get rid of. We have some bags, and we have our base right here. Okay, another bag. We have the Staff of Ka, which we'll take a look at in a moment. Instructions, and it looks like we have some pieces to fill out what will eventually be the base right here. So let's get this out of the way. Let's clean this up. Let's open some stuff up, and we'll put it together and see what we got. Okay, real fast, we're going to take a look at the Staff of Ka right here. It is molded in a very nice metallic gold plastic. It's a little bent, but that's nothing that a little bit of heat won't be able to take care of. I love the sculpting of him, of her, of the snake, whatever you want to call this. I really like it. It looks more like a dragon than a serpent with those fangs and just that jaw structure and everything. I think this looks really cool. I like how you even have some ribbing in the snake hood right there. And then we have the spines of the snake coming down the back. We have a wrap right here. Now this is a separate piece. The top is a separate piece from the staff that you can spin it around. Doesn't feel like it deconnects, just feels like you might be able to spin it. Maybe even use the spin to help get rid of some bend to it. But then we just have like the ball butt down here, just like with the Havoc staff. And if you want to take a look, where did I put the Havoc staff? The Havoc staff is actually a little bit shorter, maybe? Yeah, a little bit shorter than the Staff of Ka, but they're going to look real good side by side on the throne. Okay, here's all the parts that we have for our Bone Throne, and the first thing we have to do is actually flip this over, and we need to open this up to put the batteries in it. So we just unscrew this here, and we just pop that off. Now, this uses 3 AAA batteries, and the only AAA batteries I have been sitting in the freezer for a while, so hopefully these still work. Oh no, he's mixing brands. Put this back on. Screw it in place, and we'll see if it works once we get everything together. Okay, now that the batteries are in, let's start putting the throne together. And the first thing we're supposed to do is take the seat part right here, and we actually have this padded fur piece right here. I thought this was just going to be a molded piece of plastic, but this is actually like fur. This is really cool. And we have these little bands right here that to put this on, I believe all we have to do is, you can see there are slots here in the throne that I don't think there's anything to loop. I think we just have to push these through like that, and they'll catch on their own so they don't easily pull back out. There we go. And yeah, see how they kind of flatten out and they catch on their own, so they'll stay there. I dig that. That's really cool. That's really easy too. I have fat fingers. I have large fingers. Delicate work like that, if we would have had to have looped that and put Velcro on there, may have caused me a bit of stress, but I really like how this just fits in there. Second thing we have to do is to just click this into place, that we have these two tabs right here on either side of the throne. And once again, we have two slots in the base right here. So we just take this and click this in. There we go. Okay, let's get a better look at what we have going on here. All right. There, I tried backing the camera up a little to give you a wider view of what's happening right here. So the next thing we have is this skull piece. The jaw doesn't hinge. That's kind of disappointing. I thought maybe you could get that to hinge, but it doesn't. And this just pops on up top. There is some articulation here. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to like have him look from side to side, but there is a ball joint up there for a little bit of articulation, but we're just going to have our dude just staring forward. What else do we got? What is next? We have these pieces. Okay, so yeah, we want them to go in. Is there only one way they'll fit? Yeah, there's only one way that they'll fit. So I want them to go in and clip in like this. And the instructions do say that this is a one and done. Once you put them in, they're not coming back out unless you break them. So we have the two dragon fangs right here. What do we got left? We forgot one piece. This clips on the back. Once again, this will be a one and done, that once we clip it in, it's going to stay there. So we want to make sure that we put it in the right way, which is talons up, not talons down. So we have two slots and, oh, no, this way. We have two slots and a peg hole right there. And we got two tabs here and a peg as well. Let's get that out of the way. And we're going to smack these in. All right. So I don't know if you heard it click. It did. It wasn't a real loud click like these were, but it did snap in there. We're looking good. We're looking good. The braziers. All right. Our flame braziers that fit over top of the fires. Now, once you put those in, I believe this is a one and done as well. Yeah, once these go in, they stay in. They're not coming back out. But you can turn them so you can reposition the flame effect right here. I can't wait to see what this looks like lit up. All right. And there we have that. These pieces fit on the back. Fighting me a little. Oh. There's a tab. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can get some light down in there. There's a tab right there. I don't know if you can see that. And there is a sliding slot right here on the back of the snake stands. So that is the way you want to put them in. That will line them up correctly. And there you go. And then these actually hold the staves in place. That you have the staff of Ka right there. And then, where did I put his Havoc staff? You have his Havoc staff right here so that both of his staves, that looks so cool. That looks so cool. But we're not done yet. Okay, so there's the box that it came in, and this is going to be the base for the skeleton, or for the bone throne. And then we also have this piece right here that has some ribbing and some spines going on in there, and some really gnarly, funky designs. We have the mist rising in the background. On the back, we have more faces and even dead eyes coming out of the stone. That just looks creepy. I love it. Now, up here on the box, we have 3 tabs across the back, or I'm sorry, 3 slots across the back, and 3 slots diagonally right here. And what we have is this middle one and the side ones. And I believe what the idea is that we need to fold these in when we slip them down in there, and then once they're in, they'll open back up. Kind of like toggle bolts. Let me double check the instructions just to make sure that that is... Well, the instructions aren't real thorough on this, but I guess they figure if a kid can do it, an adult should be able to figure it out as well. So fold these in. Okay, I'm not going to lie, and I'm not proud. That took longer to get it into this position than it should have. But once we get it there, I think all we have to do, is push down. And then, they open up once they're down in there. So now we have the base. And now we take our throne and we set it here on the base. It's a diorama. Real quick, I just want to show you how easy it actually is to get Skeletor on his throne. That, I don't know if you can see it right now, but there are 2 foot pegs right here in the base. And all you really need to do is get his feet pegged in, and then you can sit him. Like, that's really all there is to it. You can position him, you can get his knees bent how you want, and the design of the throne, the foot pegs being where they are, the whole thing, like, pretty much does the work for you. Okay, so here is the throne, and before we do anything else, I just want to apologize. I just realized when I backed the camera up that I never really clipped the mic back on to my shirt, so I don't know how it sounds when we're putting the throne together. So either you're going to hear a not great audio quality voice of me talking us through putting the throne together, or there's going to be a awkward voiceover that may not be synced up entirely with the assembly, because like I said during the assembly, you can't take all of this apart once you put it together. And I don't want to try and pull it apart and redo the assembly. So I do apologize for the audio quality of when we're putting it together, but just look at it now. Look at how awesome this thing is. And we have the diorama, we have the throne, we have Skeletor right here. Now, moment of truth. Hopefully the batteries work. We have some flame coming up. We have some flame coming up. Okay. They might be a little dim. They might be flickering on. Now, that's red right there. Let's zoom in so maybe you can see the flames a little bit better. That's red right there. And we hit it again, and it should change. Oh, there's the green coming through. Let's do this. There we go. There we go. Oh, that looks really cool. We have the green. Hit it again. There's the blue flames. I love the flickering. I love the flickering. What happens if we just turn one light on there? A little harsh, but it has some. That's so cool. That's so cool. What do we got left? Okay, there's the red again. Or is that the orange? Okay, that's red coming through. And then we have the green. All right, I thought we had a purple flame, but maybe not. There's our green. There's the blue again. And then there's our reddish orange, our more natural fire looking. This does show up with the lights on, but it didn't show up on camera with the lights on. So, oh, you have a little bit of multi-flicker going on there with this one. That's so cool. That's so cool. But yeah, don't think that if the lights are on, you can't see these. I was able to see these just fine. It's just that the camera wasn't really picking it up. And there's no way to turn this off. It turns off on its own or you pull the batteries. But I think I like the green, but I think the green might be my favorite, to be honest. I really do. I think the green, let's zoom back out. There we go. All right. So there is Skeletor on the throne. This is cool. This is so cool that, like, even if you don't want to use this Skeletor, this is your display for Skeletor now. And you can use this for any Skeletor, whether you have the animation Skeletor, whether you have New Eternia, whether you have, I'm going to have to, for the photos at the end, I'm going to have to put my, my Masters of the Universe movie Skeletor on here and see how that looks as well. And now for size comparison, here he is beside Mattel, Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia, He-Man, and Masterverse, Princess of Power, She-Ra. Here he is beside Super 7 Deluxe, Target exclusive Lion-O, and Conan the Barbarian, the movie Conan. And finally, here he is beside NECA Toys, Dungeons & Dragons, Warduke, and Grimsword. I love this set. I'm not even the biggest Masters of the Universe collector, the biggest fan of the Masters of the Universe, but I love this set. This is how Skeletor should be displayed. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is how, no matter what Skeletor is going to end up being my main shelf Skeletor, this is how he's going to be on the shelf. He may not have the full diorama stand. Admittedly, that box is very chunky and adds some height to him, like a ridiculous amount of height. But I still really, really like this throne. The flame effects are fantastic. The only issue I have with the flame effects is I wish you were able to turn them off on your own, but every time you hit that button, it just cycles through the 3 flame colors, the green, the blue, and the red. It doesn't actually let you turn it off. You would have to take the batteries out for that or wait for it to time out. Like, even as a kid, when I was playing with the Masters of the Universe 5.5-inch line, the vintage line, I still wanted this throne for Skeletor, but we never got it. We didn't get it with Snake Mountain. And now to have it, like, I didn't realize how excited I would be to have this. Like, the kid in me is freaking out now that we finally have this in hand. Now that I have an Alcala accurate skull for my Skeletor, it just looks awesome. I know some people may not like the gold on the armor, but like I showed you, you can do a head swap, that it's not out of place putting it on the original New Eternia Skeletor. And who knows how it's going to look on the vintage Skeletor once that gets here from the Walmart Collector Con. I'm really looking forward to that now more than ever, just because I want to see how this head sculpt looks on the vintage Skeletor, and I want to see how the purple power sword works with this version of Skeletor as well. I hope you enjoyed this. I really do. I had a lot of fun with this one. Once again, I want to apologize for the audio issues of when I was putting this when I was putting the throne together. I can't believe I forgot to clip the microphone back onto my shirt. Hopefully, I'm able to get it taken care of, but if not, sorry about that. But hey, at least you got to see the final product, and isn't that what counts in the end? Don't touch that dial. Before you go, please remember to do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you already are a subscriber, what a legend you are. If you like what we do here and you want to help the channel grow, please consider becoming a member, whether through YouTube memberships or our coffee monthly subscription. Links to that in the description below. Both of them for $1 a month. You can get access to exclusive content, such as our monthly member exclusive video. This month is the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Stinger. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.